I do that every single time. Good afternoon, everybody. It is bang on 4 p.m. on Wednesday, the 13th of November. The year is flying by. Petch, I can hear the music. You've put the music on. We've remembered today. Excellent. Welcome, everybody. For those people who don't know me, my name is Ross. This is producer Petch. Together, between us, we run Act On This. ActOnThis.tv, but it's called Act On This, the TV Actors Network. If you're an actor, if you love acting, you actually want to earn money out of your career and you want to understand how you get roles on TV, how you can really have a career, not just kind of dabble in this industry and, you know, have it as a hobby. If you want to make it a full-blown career, we sit down every single week with our members and a top casting director, agent, actor, writer, director, producer, the best names in TV, host private Zoom calls, really teaching you the business of the business. I think it's something that a lot of actors forget. They just focus on the craft, which is important. But really, if you don't know how to get that craft in front of people who can convert that craft into cash, I suppose, work, you know, actually pay you to do it, then that's why you struggle. That's why a lot of actors struggle. So that's what we focus on, really getting actors into work by understanding the business of the business. This live stream is no different. It's going to be the same. Today we are going to be looking at 5 secrets that casting directors wish actors knew. And it's a bit clickbaity, Petch, isn't it? But we put in the title and won't tell you. I mean, technically they will tell you. They tell us on the Act On This.tv live streams that we do. But I don't see casting directors kind of like saying this stuff publicly. They don't really like post about it on X. They don't put it on Instagram. We dive into, you know, their casting process and we dive into the business on these live streams that we do, the Zoom calls that we do with casting directors. So that's where you'll hear this stuff. But we thought we would share some of the secrets today. Before we do, Petch, what are you doing? Got some people tuning in. Matt, good afternoon. How are you? I hope you are good. We can put your comments up if you're on YouTube, by the way. If you're watching anywhere else right now, shout out to you wherever you're watching. But if you want to come and get your conversation going, get the comments up on the screen. Come over to youtube.com/ActOnThisTV. youtube.com/ActOnThisTV, and we can bring your comments up on screen. Whilst people are joining, we will get into this really quickly. I don't want to hang around, but while people are joining the stream, just to let you know, if you're not a member of ActOnThis.tv yet, or if you are, little heads up for you as well. Let me just share my screen, because tomorrow, as we're live right now, it's Wednesday, isn't it, Petch? Got the day right. Tomorrow, Thursday, we have got one of our Zoom calls happening. So we've got top casting director Seth Mason with us tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. These are roughly sort of 90-minute, 2-hour sessions where we'll break down everything to do with Seth, his office. Well, he works with Victor Jenkins and Andy Brealey at the casting office. They cast massive stuff, things like Silent Witness. That's kind of Andy's gig that Seth co-cast with him. Unforgotten, Seth has cast himself. Hijack is Idris Elba's new Apple Plus show. I think Victor and Seth worked on that together. But Seth's a total legend. Really, really great guy. Loves hearing from new actors. Some of the secrets we're going to discuss today, you know, I'm sure Seth would completely agree with. But if you want to be on that call where we're going to dive behind the scenes of the casting office, Seth, what the projects he's been working on recently, you know, how you get on their casting radar at the casting office, you know, what his process is. I mean, everything. We're going to dive into that tomorrow night. Get yourself an ActOnThis.tv membership, and you can join us for that call. And if you go over to ActOnThis.tv/live, you can see the schedule here. We've got Spotlight on the week after. Mel Brown's going to be with us. Kelly Valentine Hendry, one of the biggest casting directors in the game, is going to be with us the week after that on the 28th of November with Kelly. She casts Rivals, Disney Plus show, Bridgerton, Queen Charlotte, loads of amazing shows. Jill Trevelyan's with us the week after that, known for casting Downton Abbey, Mr. Bates versus the Post Office. It's all happening, Petch, isn't it, basically?
You can say that again.
you can say that again. Yeah, between now and Christmas, we've got some absolutely banging sessions. Really, really good sessions coming up. So do come and join us if you can. And then we'll dive into these 5 points, Petch. Have you got anything to sort of say before we get stuck in? Anything you want to hammer home? Anything that you're seeing in the zeitgeist right now? You're in the trenches every day with actors in our community. You're in our Facebook group, in the private community hub on ActOnThis.tv. Anything happening?
I think all these points are really, really important, and they're easy to forget. But these are the kind of questions that come up time and time again when I'm scrolling through Facebook groups, when I'm scrolling through X, formerly Twitter, or Instagram or anything like that. Like, there are always variations around these points that we're going to tell you now, you know, in the form of very, very different questions. So do stick around till point number 5. Like, they're all... There's no like hierarchy in these points. This is just the way that the flow, I'd say, of getting in front of a casting director through to the audition. But every single point is just as relevant as the point before it.
I think point number 4, though, particularly relevant, to be honest. And I'm even going to do a bonus point. We've literally, as we hit live, I thought there's a 6th thing I want to talk about. So I'm going to give you 6, actually, 5 with a bonus one. I'll wait till the end. Won't spoil the surprise for you. So you can leave comments as we're going along, by the way, folks. Want this to be interactive. Let us know your thoughts on these things as well. Some of these things you will have heard before. Some of these things, as Petch said there, you need reminding of. Sometimes we need to hear something for the 161st time before we actually start acting on this stuff. That's why this community is called Act On This. We give you information that we want you to go away and act on. So some of these things might be sounding quite simple, but they're easy to forget, as Petch said there, and they are really, really important if you want to move your career forward faster, particularly end of this year and into 2025. 2025 is going to be a far busier year in our industry than this year has been. So the first thing, I've split these into sections, Petch. I've gone pre-audition, I've gone audition, and then post-audition.
Nice.
So we've got 2 secrets in the pre-audition stage, and I've been really diligent. I've written notes here and everything. Right, we're going to riff on these, but I've got like some things that I really, really want to say.
He's come prepared.
I'm well prepared. Well, that might be one of the secrets, Petch. Point number 1, folks. Right, things that casting directors don't say all the time, but they sort of wish you knew, but maybe they're not just saying everywhere. Is that casting directors genuinely, and I've interviewed hundreds over the last 14 years, and that's on this. Casting directors genuinely want you to write to them, but in a way that will make their life easier. And that is the caveat there. A lot of actors will be sending emails to casting directors, casting assistants, casting associates in a way that makes their life harder. Okay, so they're not solutions-focused emails. They're not really giving the casting director the information they need. They're dumping a load of information on the casting director or the assistant or the associate and basically saying, help, I really need a job. Here's everything about me, or here's, a link to a 2-hour film. You'll find me, at 40 minutes in for 3 minutes, and then an hour and a half in, you'll find me again on another scene. Kind of giving casting professionals work to do to kind of figure you out. That's not how you do it. So what casting directors want, I've got some notes here. Contrary to popular belief, because we still get this, and it blows my mind because we've been like shouting about this for over a decade. We still get actors, don't we, Petch, saying things like in our forums, like, can I write to a casting director? Is this a done thing? My agent says I shouldn't write because it's their job. It's such terrible advice. If you do this right, members of our community are booking TV jobs weekly. I don't mean every single week, like per person, but we're getting email. Wish that would be the case. We're getting emails from, different actors every single week. Shout out to Matt, I think he was on here before. Matthew is here. I got your email before, mate. I will reply later. And it's amazing. Matt's just done, I think, his second TV job or film job with some massive names because he was acting on this advice and reaching out to people. The fact that we still get asked, can you do this, is a bit crazy. Of course, in a 2024, 2025 world, it's your job as an actor to make sure that casting directors know that you exist, but you've got to do it in the right way. So I've put here, contrary to popular belief, many casting directors appreciate it when actors take the initiative, because it is initiative, to stay in touch via email, especially when it's done professionally and respectfully. They know that actors who proactively share updates, recent projects maybe that you've been in, or new headshots, show reels, whatever, are invested in their careers and committed to staying top of mind within that, casting director's mind or that office. Casting directors are often juggling many projects at once, and a polite reminder of who you are can ultimately keep you on their radar for the right role. So the tip here is not to be afraid to reach out, but keep your emails solutions focused, short, friendly, and to the point. Okay, aim for updates that have genuine relevance. Okay, so say for instance I knew Petch had been auditioning for a casting director. Maybe I'd read in for a role, as in I'm reading opposite Petch. He's auditioning, doing a self-tape or whatever, but I'm reading in for him. Maybe we get the luxury of the full script and we see something else within that script that is relevant for me potentially. And I'm like, I'm not just crowbarring myself in. It's really relevant. I'm not just going, oh, Petch, is there anything like, what about this 50-year-old here? Could I maybe just, what if I just try and get myself seen for that? If there was something, I often play authority roles. I play cops a lot. I play doctors a lot, lawyers, anyone in a suit, businessmen. I play a lot of, clean-cut kind of characters. Let's say, there was a character like that in the script and I've got a self-tape or a previous piece of work that's been on TV as that kind of role. that would be really relevant outreach for me to, write to the casting director that Petch had just done the self-tape for and say, hey, listen, I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's toes here. I was reading in for a friend of mine. I know you're casting this project at the moment. I noticed, in the same scene, there was a role of an estate agent. I've actually just played an estate agent in Last Tango in Halifax. So, I mean, that was a few years ago, actually. But here's the scene, just in case, it's relevant for you. And it might make your life easier. Here's me doing that job. That's kind of like relevant, solutions-focused outreach that someone would be appreciative of, as opposed to me going, hey, I know you're looking for a estate agent. Here's me in a Lord of the Rings style showreel scene. Could I maybe have a go at it? That's not relevant, right? So, you've got to basically, send through stuff that's going to be useful if you want to be a help, not hindrance to casting. A quarterly update if you're not reaching out for something specific like that. A quarterly update or a quick note when you've got some exciting news. Maybe you're in a show, you want to invite someone to a show. If you're doing a theatre show, for example, you've got some new headshots. You've just shot a new showreel scene that you think's really in the style of that casting office. Casting offices very often cast similar things. Casting directors are known for a certain type of thing. If it's comedy, for example, Rachel Sheridan often, casts really great comedies, and so does Rachel Freck, Nikki Bly, Tracy Gillam, people like that. Maybe it would be comedy stuff that you would be sending to them rather than the highly dramatic, dramatic stuff. But ultimately, quarterly outreach is just a way of making sure that casting directors are aware of you, your growth as an actor, showing them that you are investing in your career, you're growing, and also your availability. Just going, hey, you know what? Like, I am available right now. if anybody would like, to give me an opportunity. So that's the kind of secret number one. It's a very open secret in the industry, but we still get actors who are just unsure or unconfident and going, I don't know if I can do this. Should I be doing it? Any agent telling actors, their clients, not to reach out, I think that's just really, really terrible advice. I wouldn't want to be with an agent who wouldn't be happy for me to do outreach myself, basically, and have a bit of control of my career myself. We're both bringing opportunity to the table. It's very, collaborative like that. I don't think any agent should worry about that. And I think the only ones who do Petch are maybe agents who, I don't know, either are paranoid about an actor rocking the boat or getting it really wrong, or have maybe been burnt in the past. But it's very hard, isn't it, to get burnt on this stuff, unless you're writing an email that's like, hi, I hate you, and I thought the last thing you cast was rubbish. I don't think there's no blacklist. That's kind of one of these points you were saying before, actually, whilst we were putting this list together. There is no blacklist, Petch. That's a myth, isn't it? Yeah,
totally. Like you say, you've got to really be insulting to the casting director to be blacklisted. I do think, like you said there, like agents being stung before, there is a right way and a wrong way to reach out to casting directors, in as such as, if you've seen, we always recommend people get their subs list from their agents, or some agents allow you to be able to see what you've been subbed for and tag me like the day after. If you've seen that you've been subbed for a role and then you get in touch with that casting director going, I know my agent subbed me for this, why haven't you seen me? That
that's bad.
Is a wrong way.
Yeah.
Like, you're not telling the casting director, again, as we say there, we're trying to make casting directors' lives easier, but we're not telling them how to do their job.
Yep.
Like, there's probably a reason why you weren't seen, something that you don't know anything about. So don't go in there all guns blazing going, I've been sub for you 5 times this year and you've not called me in once. What are you playing at? That's the wrong way to go about it. But if you to get that information from there and go, in your own head, go, I've not been seen by them, and I've been subbed for them for five times this year. I'm going to reintroduce myself with a recently filmed self-tape, or an up-to-date on my show reel, or an up-to-date on my headshots, or just something that will get you in their mind again. But that's what I'd say on that.
Absolutely. I think it's useful to get your submissions list now and again. We're not writing out accusatory style going, oh, right, I've been subbed 5 times and you haven't seen me. It's like, in your own head, you've got to think, right, I need to make more of a rapport with this person, so the next time that I am subbed and they see my headshot, they'll recognize me, because when you're reaching out to people, your headshot should be in your email, and it should be the same headshot on your social media if you're, connecting with people on social media. And by the time, I think scientifically, by the time someone's seen a face 7 times, they'll remember it. Even if it's just digitally like that, they've not met you. I think it is something like 7 touch points. Makes it, way easier to remember someone.
And that's not going out there and touching people 7 times. That's not what we're saying.
No, not saying that. Touch points metaphorically. Don't go around touching people unsolicited. So that's point number 1. Yeah, the secret is ultimately casting directors want you to reach out to them. We've got a bit of footage we've played before, but I want to show you some stuff. If you're not a member of Act On This, I want to show you some footage from our weekly calls. This is a piece of footage that's just undeniable evidence and permission from a great casting director to go, look, it is cool to email people in this industry, and you should do it. This is a piece from Emma Sylvester. She was at the BBC for years. She's now teamed up with another great casting director called Jessica Jeffries. They've teamed up, they cast stuff together. We're going to be getting them on ActOnThis.tv again in January as a duo. I hope January anyway. It should be the start of 2025. But in the meantime, this is just a 2-minute clip where you will see Emma, who was working on Casualty at the time, I think, when we filmed this. She'd cast things like Doctors, EastEnders, a lot of the BBC shows in-house at Elstree. And this is her basically saying, look, please write to me. Like, you can absolutely write. So I'll take us off the screen, Petch, and we'll just play this out, and then we'll come back for points. Well, secret number 2. So I'll just take us off. How would you get on your casting radar, Emma?
I'd write to me, and I'd write to me with the premise, this is me. So you don't need to fluff it up. You don't need to say, oh, I loved that episode of Doctors you did. You just need to say, this is me, and make no apology for it, and send a link to your spotlight, and just make sure there's something on there. And just, I'd love to be considered. I think for actors that aren't represented, the ideas list is something to really key into. And it's something I didn't, as an actor myself, I didn't really think about. Our ideas list comes from us knowing talent. Some actors go, actually, do you know what? I've just woken up this morning, I've decided I just want to be an actor. And that's totally fine. But unless I hear from you, I don't know. I don't know that you've broken up deciding to be an actor. I know that that's probably just quite an extreme thing. But just going back to the casting process and the ideas list, please write. Please write. I really do genuinely mean it. It's expected. Don't feel passive in this process and think, I'm not going to write because I'm probably going to waste the time and I'm just probably going to find it really annoying. I find it really useful because then I've got more actors under my belt. So when I've got a character and I'm going back to that initial script read, then I go, oh, there's that actor that got the face, and it's just quite a really lovely kind of process. And then you go back to your list and you go, okay, that's who I'm looking for. So don't ever feel passive in this process. It's lovely getting to know actors. And if you're in, if you're in a bit of fringe theatre, if you're in anything, please let me know. I think the problem lies with the ideas and people, actors writing. It's not hearing anything back, which is really hard. But it's always read, it's always appreciated.
So there you go. Yeah, don't feel passive in your career. Like, if you have representation, you have an agent, you should still be letting people in this industry know that you exist. The more rapport you can build, the more connections you can build. Ultimately, just sort of like the more collaborative you can be, the more opportunity you're going to find. So that's point number 1, secret number 1. Casting directors want you to reach out to them, but you've got to do it in a solutions-focused way that makes their lives easier.
Well, I always say, be a casting solution, not a casting problem.
Yeah, just look to be that solution for people, so they're happy that you've written, because you've made their life easier. Casting directors are human beings who want to go home at the end of the day, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, or whatever, and spend time with their families. Like, if you can be the person that they can go, actually, you know what? Yeah, I've just filled the last slot on this audition schedule or this, this self-tape schedule. That's great. They're like, right, okay, my job is easier. Point number 2, secret number 2, and we get this all the time as well. I really wish people would not get hung up on this. Like, some of the most successful people I know don't fall into this category. Right, and that's the category of having trained at some exclusively amazing, very expensive drama school. Casting directors don't care where you have trained, only that you have talent. And we've spoken to casting directors about this at length as well over the years, to the point now where, I'm trying to remember which casting director it was who told me, to the point where like some offices are not even printing out spotlight CVs now in audition. So when you get in the room in an audition, this wouldn't apply to self-tapes, but a lot of casting directors, and this happened when I used to work in casting many years ago, they would print out the actors' spotlight CVs who were coming into audition. So if you were coming into audition, Petch, if I was a casting director, I'd print your CV out and I'd give it to the director. You know, I'd leave it on the table for the director to go, right, okay, Petch is coming in, here's his spotlight CV. It's got to the point now where, like, very few casting directors are even doing that, because they were seeing this pile of CVs on the table at the start of the day, not even being touched at the end of the day. Because the directors and the casting directors as well, really, the only thing that they're interested in at the audition stage is how good you are in the room. So I've put here what casting directors want. I've put casting directors are focused on what you can deliver in the moment, not where you studied. Right, so we get a lot of people who like feel imposters in this industry because they didn't study at RADA, or they haven't been to an accredited drama school. You have to train. I'm not saying don't train. It's really important to train somewhere. You know, if you want to work in screen and TV, there are incredible weekly, affordable acting classes ran by casting directors, casting teams. That will have directors coming in to guest, or working actors. Will be taking those classes. One of our recent guests, George Bukhari, shout out to him, and all the guys at Craft Masters Acting. It's a really affordable acting kind of like, well, weekend class. They do like full in-depth weekends. I think they're about 85 quid for the entire weekend. It's super, super affordable. And it's run by actors who are working, on TV, doing stuff. Act Up North, Act for TV. Great classes as well. They're ran by people who are acting. They're actors themselves. They're working on television. They're doing the thing that you want to do. And they're not 50 grand, to go and get a degree at. My course that I did, I went to drama school, so I feel I can speak on this as well. Back in the day, I went to the Manchester Metropolitan School of Theatre, 2002 to 2005. And my degree cost me about 20 grand, I think, Petch. The same degree today is £50,000, basically. I think it's 47.5 grand. There's no way I would spend that money now.
Is that including the budget when it's just gone up?
Because the government's put fees up for students a bit, haven't they? I think it's only a few hundred quid. It'll be 50 grand now, though, basically. 50,000 quid for a degree. I learned how to act, but I already knew how to act to a certain degree because I had to audition for 2 years to get into the drama school. It was like the X Factor to get in. And drama school didn't teach me anything about the business of the business, which is why I set up actonthis.tv. So I wouldn't go to a traditional drama school now, having been, unless I wanted to work in classical theatre. If I wanted to work in musical theatre, maybe I would do a specific musical theatre degree or something like that. That might be more relevant. But if you want to work on TV, some of my most successful, and famous friends who have got, very well known for being in this industry, none of them went to drama school. Rachel Shenton, she's an Oscar winner, didn't go to drama school. Rob James Collier, one of my best friends, he plays Thomas in Downton Abbey. Never went to drama school. I met him at an acting class in Manchester, David Johnson Drama in Manchester. We were just doing the weekly acting classes. I went to drama school. He didn't. He's earned millions of pounds and he's on Downton Abbey. I haven't. so it doesn't guarantee an incredible career. I've got a good career, but there's many people I know who have got more successful careers who didn't train and spend 50 grand at drama school. So don't get hung up on walking into the room feeling less than at an audition if you didn't go to drama school or RADA or something like that. So I've put here, ultimately casting directors are more interested in whether you can embody the character, take direction, and bring authentic emotion to a role. Degrees and prestigious schools are less important to them than your actual skill, versatility, and unique presence in that audition room. They want actors who feel real and who can connect with an audience regardless of training background. So tip here that I've written, don't stress over your CV or worry about competing with actors from prestigious drama schools. If you're in the waiting room at an audition and you're like, oh, hi, yeah, who are you? And oh, yeah, I'm Dave, nice to meet you. Okay, yeah, what have you been up to? Oh, just graduated from RADA. Don't let that just throw you off completely thinking, well, what's the point of me being here then? It's what you do in the moment that matters, not what you both did sort of in the past. So put here, instead invest in developing your craft and focusing on what you can bring to the table. You've still got to invest in yourself. Weekly acting classes, fortnightly acting classes, some workshops now and again, super, super useful. Take on roles for fun, like practice your self-tape game. That's something that you can do in your own time that won't cost you anything. Work with a coach if needed, if you want to go down that route. And just build confidence in your abilities, basically. When you're in the audition room, let your talent speak for itself. It's ultimately the performance that matters, not where you trained, in my case, 20 years ago. No one's looking on my Spotlight CV, Petch, going, oh, well, we've got, I keep calling people Dave now. We've got David here, who's incredible. We've got Ross here, who, is I won't say incredible, who's good as well. They both could do the role. Should we look at where they trained? Oh, well, Ross trained here 20 years ago. It's not relevant. No one's bothered. Like, what did they just do in the room? When we watch the tapes back, who do we believe more? Who's the best person for the job in the moment, not where they trained 20 years ago? So let us know in the chat, or if you're on the replay, drop us a post on X, like at Act On This TV. Let us know if that's something that's ever sort of affected you. I've talked to actors, Petch, who have already been having success, who have genuinely, been contemplating dropping out for a bit and going and doing a degree. And I'm like, but you're working already. You just landed a lead role in a TV show. Why are you thinking of dropping out for 3 years when you're hot now? Like, you're hot property now. Oh, well, I just don't feel like... I feel like I'll be better. Yeah, we all could be better. But it doesn't mean going and spending 50 grand on a degree is gonna make you that much better. You can learn things on a job that you can't learn at drama school, I'll tell you that. It's things you can only learn on a set. So don't let that, don't get, too hung up on that.
I just want to jump in on that as well. Like, I know we're talking about drama schools there as well, that people get hung up on about whether they're trained or not. Similarly to that is whether they've had a credit or not on Spotlight already. Like, they overfixate on, well, I've not had my first TV credit yet, so they're not going to see me. Casting directors want to be the people to discover new talent. Yeah,
it's their job.
So don't let that affect you either. Again, it comes down to, can you do the role? Whether you've had a TV credit or not to start off with, it doesn't matter, because I guarantee you, every actor in this industry, whether they've won an Oscar or a BAFTA or an Olivier Award, whatever, they started out without having that first credit. So if they can do it without a credit, you can do it without a credit. I mean, you need to build up your credits, don't get me wrong, but there was a time where we all start from scratch. We all start with a blank CV. We don't come out of the womb with an acting credit. I don't think, anyway.
Unless your mum's an actress and she was pregnant with you and you were in a film together.
Still, I don't think you get credited for that.
No, I mean, I don't think you get bump on IMDb.com. But yeah, ultimately, it's just about framing your mindset as going, look, you know what? Like, if I am taking my career seriously, I am training. It doesn't really matter, that it's not at a 50 grand a degree drama school. I know some really, really incredible actors. Who I've met, who have come to the industry a little bit later in life as well, and I've met at acting classes, that are 25 quid a week or whatever, and after 6 months, I'm like, God, like, I've seen them land their first TV job, without a 3-year, £50,000 degree. So don't worry about it. That's definitely secret number 2. Casting directors really care about what you're doing in the moment. They care about the quality of your show reel. They care about the performance that they can see in front of them or on tape, not where you trained 20 years ago. So don't get too caught up on that. So they're points 1 and 2. We're going to move into the audition now for points 3 and 4. So these are secrets that we've got off casting directors that they wish actors knew when they're actually in the room. And this next one is it is something that we hear all the time. Might feel oversaid for us, Petch, but maybe not for people outside of our community. And that is that casting directors are on your side and want to give you the job. Okay, casting directors are genuinely rooting for actors in the audition room or on a self-tape. They want to succeed. Well, they want you to succeed because then they succeed, basically, because their job is to find the right person for the role. And they are thrilled when someone comes in who could be the one. I've worked in casting. I've read opposite people in auditions. Casting directors buzz off the fact that if they bring someone in and they're like straight away, that they will be... I don't want this to scare people, but like, they will be making judgments of you, even walking from the door to the chair. They might be like, hang on a minute, oh God, this person, I'm getting a sense that this person could be this character that we've all been looking for. Just the way they walk, the way they hold themselves, the energy that they bring in. casting directors are excited about that. They're not there to judge you and criticize you. Instead they're hoping that you'll show up and deliver something that makes their search easier. Like we said before, making the life easier so they can go home at the end of the day, right? When you're in the room, remember that casting directors are allies in this process. They want you to nail the role just as much as you do. So go into the audition with a mindset shift. And this is important. It's something really valuable you could take away from today, okay? We want to walk into the room and let go of the pressure to prove ourselves, and we want to just start focusing on showing ourselves. Okay, so you're not there to prove yourself, you're just there to show yourself. And when you make that change, that can make a big difference to the quality of your audition. Because a lot of actors do go into I've got to prove myself to somebody. You've kind of already done that to get the audition. Your show reels prove that you can do the job. The submission from your agent and the fact that they've seen your headshot on a reel and they've invited you to an audition. You've already proved that you should be in the room. From that point on, let's not prove ourselves. Let's just show ourselves and show what you would do with that role. So that's
the audition is the job, isn't it? The audition is you performing in front of an audience that happen to be a casting director, a director, and a producer, or whoever else is in the room, and showing what your take on that character would be, and that's your chance to perform. That's the job. And then when you get the job, that's the fun part, isn't it?
The most nerve-wracking, the hardest part, if your mindset's not right, is the audition by far. There will be moments on set if you're doing a set piece or I don't know, you're doing a stunt or you've got like just a couple of takes at something. Let's say they're crashing a car, you can't get it wrong. It's like we don't have a budget for unlimited numbers of cars we can blow up. So there will be elements on set that are as nerve-wracking as the audition. But the biggest thing where actors will sabotage is definitely that walk from the room to the chair, from the door to the chair.
You're going to be auditioning a lot, is what I'm thinking. Is like that's the job. Is you're going to be auditioning and you're going to face rejection time and time again before you get that yes. So that's the job, because that's something that you're going to do more often than. I mean, we're aiming to work more often than not, but you still have to audition to get those jobs. You know what I mean? So it's the audition. And what I like to think about on this part as well is that the casting directors have been hired to do a job. They've been hired by the production company to bring in their taste of actors. So they're only going to bring in the actors who they think best reflect their taste in actors. Otherwise, if they started bringing in bad actors, this production company isn't going to work with that casting director ever again. So they want you to do a good job because it makes them look even better to that production company, so that they get hired again. It's a shame.
They're not going to bring you in if they think you're going to let them down ultimately. So walk in going, I've already proved myself. Because if I'm going to show you, I'm not a casting director, but if I was and I was going to show you to the director that has hired me or the producer that has hired me, and he's paying good money. Casting directors, if they're working on big shows, they get paid really good money. I want to get more good money. I want to get employed again by the same production company. So I'm only going to bring in people who I really believe are going to be strong. And I still will bring, they still will bring people in who they've never met before, as long as, they believe that you can do a good job. And that will be off the correspondence you sent to them. Initially, like we said, it's professional, it's solutions focused. The showreel material you have shown them, how, professionally you've conducted yourself. And then you'll get that shot. And then if you do a good job of it, and we'll talk about this later, regardless of what happens, you're going to get asked back. At some point. So let's make that mindset shift.
They want to be in a position at the end of the day, like if they brought in 5 people for one role, for example, they want to be in that position at the end of the day where they go, all 5 of them.
All 5 could do it. Yeah. We're almost like stumped because we don't know which one to give it to because they're all brilliant. That's like the ideal position to be in. And then the casting director can leave it up to production to choose that person, but they've done their job at that point. They've done a really good job if they're like, oh my God, we could give it to any of these 5 we've seen. They're great. Mindset shift away from proving yourself. You've already done that if you got the audition or you got the self-tape, to showing yourself. Far, far better way of looking at things. Point number 4. This is just massive in every walk of life, okay? But particularly in high-pressure situations, because this is the one thing that you can rely on every time if you do it. And again, you will have heard this a million times, but it's preparation. Okay, secret number 4 that casting directors want every actor to know, but they won't spout it from the rooftops, is ultimately preparation fuels confidence, and confidence often outshines talent. right? This is just what I've seen in the casting room myself when I've either been in auditioning myself or I've been reading on the other side of the table. You know, for casting directors in auditions, I'll read in opposite actors auditioning. Casting directors are quick to recognise, really quick as well, when an actor has thoroughly prepared. And it's often preparation that translates into the quiet confidence that they're looking for. Okay, they want actors who come into the room knowing the lines. That's important. It's not a memory test equally. You don't have to be perfect, but knowing your lines is really, really important. That's a big part of preparation and being able to perform. They know the lines. They know the character's backstory. If they've been given the luxury of that, you don't always get that. You can infer things if you've got the full script, or if you've not, you know, you can kind of, you know, create things yourself that might just, you know, give you a grounding in that character. They want you to know the tone of the projects. So, you know, do that research. If you know who the director is, Google them. Look up other shows that they've done. That's going to give you confidence because you're prepared on that thing. You know, that side of things. You've got thing to talk about with the director if they're in the room. It ultimately brings like this undeniable presence if you walk into the room and you've prepared. You know, often a well-prepared, and this is important, a well-prepared, confident actor can stand out even more than someone with raw talent but less self-assurance. So you will always hear this like, God, they just came in and they blew us away because, you know, they had this raw talent. They weren't perfect. They were new. They were a bit rough around the edges, but we could see something in them. That happens, and that, you know, that's really, really important. That can happen. But equally, I've seen actors come in who are just more prepared and more confident, outshine those people because they've done the work. And it always comes back to that quote Stephen Graham said to us, Petch, that I'll never forget. And it's like Stephen Graham said, listen, I do the work to make it look like I haven't done the work.
Yeah.
In terms of like, you know, that it's natural to him. It makes him look like, you know, he's just great at it. People go, God, he's such a natural. He's like, no, behind the scenes, I've done the bloody work. So, you know, the tip here is really to dive deep into each role, explore the character's motivations. If you've got the luxury, the full script, you might not always have that. The nuances of the show. If you know who's directing it, maybe you know who's written it. You know, look at the other shows that they've written, get the tone right. Isha Sahota, a great director. He's just directed Missing You for Netflix. It comes out on January the 1st, a Harlan Coben drama, stars some amazing people. He said when we were talking to him with an actor called George Bukhari, that he'll always ask an actor in the audition, like, so what do you think of the script? You know, and he wants genuine answers, not just, oh yeah, it's great, I like it. He wants you to have an opinion on it and what it reminds you of. You have a little conversation around it. Because at that point, he's like, I'm collaborating with you before you've even started acting. I know what you're going to be like to talk to on set. I've got an idea of what you're like to work with before you've even kind of, you know, got down to the script. And you'll only be able to talk about that stuff with confidence, that quiet confidence, if you've prepared. So the more prepared you are, the more naturally confident you're going to feel, right? So, you know, practice things regularly. Before you even get an audition, you know, crack on with, you know, practice your self-tape game, practice learning scenes quickly, you know, visualize your success so that when you enter the audition room, you know, your preparation basically speaks for itself and your confidence can shine through. You don't want to be watching a performance. Have you ever watched, let us know in the chat, have you ever watched someone in the theatre and you've been nervous for them, Petch, in terms of you go, oh my God, they don't know their lines, or they just they messed up there, and I could see they messed up and they didn't recover it with confidence, and it's kind of like you're rooting for them, but equally you can't enjoy the performance because you're a bit scared that they're going to fail any moment. So you can't fully just sit back and enjoy it. You're nervous for them. That's not how you want casting to feel in an audition. Like, you know, they want to sit back. Like you said, they've brought you in front of a director potentially. They want to look great. They don't want to be thinking, please get it right, because if you don't, I'm going to look daft here. Like, I took a chance on you and you didn't take it seriously. You haven't prepared properly.
Yeah. Preparation.
I've got a clip actually, Petch, from
just before you play
one of our recent sessions. Yeah.
I'm reading a book at the moment. It's all about the history of the MCU because I'm a massive Marvel fan.
Yeah.
And I've just read the section about Iron Man. Now, everybody watching this now knows that Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Like, he is Iron Man. Everything about him screams Iron Man. But when it was going into production, Robert Downey Jr. was a massive risk. He'd just been on probation a few years earlier because of the alcohol abuse and drug abuse and stuff like that. And the production studio didn't want to touch him at all.
I remember this actually, yeah.
The director, Jon Favreau, who was like fighting for him. And yeah, it was really at a stalemate to the point where Jon Favreau was like, no, if it's either him or it's me, like I'm going to walk if you don't hire him. And the casting director, Sarah Haley Finn, brilliant casting director, has cast a load of Marvel stuff, cast a load of Star Wars stuff. She said, at least let's see him for an audition. And Robert Downey Jr. prepped his ass off. And he says in the book, like, my wife could have woken me up in the middle of the night and I could have recited the lines for the entire audition process at double speed. I knew them off
right,
the back, like, I knew everything about it. And one of the producers said, yeah, we saw a load of great actors for the role. And there was, he was up against some really top actors. And I know it's Robert Downey Jr., and it's hard to see because he was nominated for an Oscar beforehand. And he said, a lot of actors came in. And then Tony Stark came in. Iron Man came in. It's like,
right.
As soon as he did it, I couldn't see it any other way. So prep.
Yeah. Okay, well, so we had a great guest on recently on one of our member Zoom calls. As I say, we do these every single week. We had a great actor called Ian Pulston Davis on with us recently. The guy is probably one of the most experienced actors we've ever had on the site. Over 100 credits on IMDb, all like massive shows. Huge. Kind of like name in film and TV, really. And he talked to us about how he still preps for auditions today and how he preps for every audition, even today with his credits and his background, still like it's a title fight. And he's like, I walk in the room, I do the self-tape, still like it's a title fight. He doesn't just rest on his laurels. And yes, he gets auditions, not auditions, he gets offers given, so he doesn't have to audition for everything. He'll still have to audition for some stuff. But I want to play this because I just thought, it's a great way of putting it. Let me just I'll keep the music on. I'll just take us off the screen for a second, Petch. It's only a short clip, this, folks. It's only about 33 seconds, but the full 2-hour chat, it might be 2.5 hours actually with Ian. It's in the members area on actonthis.tv right now. You get access to it if you get a membership, but proper motivational, this one. Let's just take us off and play this.
I treat every audition like a title fight. And I always imagine and visualize all those other actors in their bedrooms preparing. And I always decide to work harder than anyone else, because without that determination, that discipline, that dedication, you may well lose that fight. So I can't tell you how important it is to prepare more than you believe anyone else is going to prepare for it. So when I go into a self-tape, or in fact, if I've got the job, when I go on set for that first day, I challenge anyone to have prepared more than me.
Love it. I just love his attitude. And because he said also in that chat, he says something like, I think it was... who was it? I mentioned him before, Petch. Who was it he said was renowned for going over the lines literally 1,000 times?
Bryan Cranston?
Nope. Silence of the Lambs. What's his name?
Oh, Hannibal Lecter. Oh,
yeah.
Name's gone right on
Well, I can't remember. Only one of the most famous actors literally in the world.
I want to say Tony something, but it's not
nope.
Tony, is it?
Nope. Anthony Hopkins. Yeah,
Anthony,
so Tony. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, he said Anthony Hopkins, was known as something like, for going over his lines 1,000 times or something. So, he knew them absolutely inside out. And he said, listen, I would give him a run for his money. Both obviously, incredible actors, but still do the bloody work. So, yeah. That's secret number 4. Prep, basically. Preparation fuels confidence, and confidence often outshines talent. Just does. When you walk in the room, and it doesn't matter how raw your talent is, if you're not confident with it, if you're not self-assured, if people feel you're a risk, because there's a shed load of money going into these dramas. That's another thing actors kind of need to know as well. You're talking for a 6-part Netflix drama, I don't know, anywhere up to 25 million quid. And I know a lot of actors are like, oh, but why do I see the same names all the time? It's not fair. I should be in that. I should star in that. You're asking someone to bet 25 million quid on you. If you've got no track record, no one in the right mind would do that. That's why you see the same names again and again, because these production companies and these producers know these are bankable names. They bring people to the table. But not only that, they can rely on them because they do the work. They prep. They know what they're getting, with those actors. So, yeah, if you want to become one of those actors, you've got to start really preparing, like Ian said there, for every opportunity, even if you get the job, like it is a title fight. So that was secret number 4. Secret number 5 here. This is post-audition now. And again, you might have heard this before, but it's just something that I want everybody to remember, okay? Casting directors remember consistency and they remember growth, okay? Even if you do not book a role, casting directors take note of actors who consistently improve and bring a strong presence. They want actors who are committed to growth and continually bring their best. So treat every audition just as an opportunity to connect, improve, make a memorable impression. Basically, keep working on your craft in between auditions. View each audition as another step in building that long-term relationship with casting. If you're going to be in this industry your whole life, this is what you want to do as a career. It's not kind of like, I'll just meet this casting director once and then that's it. You know, if you get this right and you are implementing all of these 5 things, so you're reaching out regularly, you know, you're training regularly, you're improving, you know, you're doing great auditions, you're prepping, everything, you know, you're basically delivering the goods time and time again. Doesn't matter if you book that job on that first audition, that second audition, that third audition. Eventually you will, and these casting directors will continue to fight for you. We've got countless examples of members of our community, of very well-known actors who have come on to chat on our weekly sessions. You know, even like myself and Petch, you know, there's been casting directors that we've auditioned for and haven't got the job for 3-4 times, but they've just given us another shot because they just, you know, appreciate the work you're putting in and just waiting for the right thing to come up, and then eventually you book something. So don't sort of like think if you don't get the job, you've screwed up, you've done something wrong. That's it, you're never going to get another shot. Like, casting directors remember consistency and enjoy seeing growth in actors. Not actors who get one rejection, go and sit down and cry and then never do anything again. They're like actors who get up, continue to train, continue to produce new material, shoot new stuff, you know, continue to reach out to them and just prove to them that, you know, you're taking it seriously and that you are consistently growing. And putting the work in. We've got another clip. We'll play it in a second, Petch. But what would you add to that, mate? We've got actors in our community who have been seen like 4 or 5 times before they booked a job with a casting director, but the casting directors continue to bring them back because they just like the work. You know,
there's one actor I remember, and he was seen by Coronation Street like 20 times.
22 times. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't going to name him, but you have.
We won't say the surname. It could be anyone called John. But yeah. I mean, that's very unlucky. I mean, to be honest, to get into double digits and not book is very unlucky. But yeah, they're just waiting for, you know, a better thing to come up, or a more right thing to come up. So
the thing to take away from that is that they're still seeing you. They're still seeing something in you, and they're championing you. Like, they know that you can do it. If they thought that you weren't good enough, they'd stop.
Oh, they'd stop seeing you at the second time because you could, you know, you can get seen once, maybe you have an off day, and they're like, oh, they had a bad day at the office, they weren't great. We'll give them another shot anyway because we like, you know, we see the reel's good, we like their attitude. Then if you screw it up again, and particularly if they're like, well, that person just didn't prepare, then maybe you don't get a third shot, but you're going to get a few goes if you know, prove that you're serious about this and that you are, you know, putting the work in. So let me play this clip out. This is a great casting director, Rachel Sheridan. She cast One Day for Netflix, other really big shows as well. Men Up, was it? Yeah, Man Up or Men Up. I can't remember. The title of that was a Welsh drama about the inception of Viagra when they first made that. Really interesting show though. It's won loads of awards. Rachel cast some really, really good stuff, and this is her chatting about an actress called Azuka Hoyle, Scottish actress, fantastic, won a BAFTA. And this was a conversation around seeing Azuka again and again until that role came up, because Azuka, you know, just wasn't booking. She was doing a great job, but things just weren't going her way in the room. So this is just Rachel saying, look, there's no such thing as a wasted audition, basically. So I'll just take this off the screen again, Petch, and I will play this one out. But yeah, anyone who's had an audition this year, this week, this month, whatever, and you've not got it, don't get down on yourself, right? You know, there will be more. There's no such thing as a wasted audition. How would you get on your cast? How many times have you seen Azuka then before she landed something with you?
I absolutely love Azuka. She's an actress that I've been a fan of for a long time, and have auditioned her. Well, basically, I bring her in for everything. I just think she's fantastic, and it's actually a real example of, you know, when you say that there's no such thing as a wasted audition, because until Big Boys, I just hadn't had the opportunity to be able to cast Azuka, even though I brought her in all the time. So she knew that I thought she was great, and I was always bringing her in, and everybody who met her thought she was great as well. But there's always a gazillion reasons why you don't land a part, you know, as I'm sure all the casting directors on here say. It's just about getting all the jigsaw pieces together, and then it all finally aligned.
Because I know there's a lot of people in the community, Rachel, who've been seen by, you know, casting directors. They might be seen by Daniel Edwards 3 times. It's not booked anything. Andy Pryor a few times, and in their head they're like, "Oh, I must be shit." Then I'm just not booking anything. You know, they keep seeing me, and they're going to just run out of patience with me, and they'll not see me again. It's not really like that, is it? If they've seen you 3 times.
Oh no, it's not like, oh, I've seen you 4 times and you still haven't booked the job. No, if anything, you're like, oh God, I can't believe I still haven't given them the job. You know, it's never. They're obviously good.
Absolutely.
In fact, to be honest, if you're in the room, we obviously think you're good. It's not about that. I know we all casting directors say exactly the same thing, that we're always rooting for you. And if you're in it, certainly now, if you're in the room, you know, with self-tapes sort of being so often a first round for people, if you're in the room that, you know, you just think you can't do any more than your absolute best, and then just see how the stars align.
1, 2, 3, 4. Bring us back on again. Full 2-hour session with Rachel in the members area right now. If you want to get on her casting radar, get auditions from Rachel in her office. But yeah, it's seen Sudoku. And I said Sudoku. It's seen Azuka. I'm literally losing my mind. I've just had coffee today, I promise. I've seen Azuka 4 times or so, and she just hadn't booked. And Azuka is brilliant. We first met at Boiling Point when she was doing Boiling Point, which I think was what she won the Scottish BAFTA for. I can't remember exactly, but cracking actress. But just hadn't been booking, and Rachel was just bringing her in again and again and again. And then, she said there, reminded me, got Big Boys, great show. So there is no wasted audition. You know, whatever you've done this year, regardless of whether you've booked any jobs this year, maybe you've you know, not booked anything you've auditioned for. Those seeds you've sown, if you did a good job, could sprout next year in 2025 when there's going to be way more work available for all of us. So, never forget that. Before I do bonus point number 6, which is kind of related to casting, it's actually something to remember from a director here. But I'll just recap for people who are joining now, Petch, on these 5 secrets. Yes. That casting directors wish actors knew, but in the clickbait title for us, but won't tell you. The first one is, casting directors basically want you to write to them, but in a way that will make their life easier. Okay, and that's really getting to grips with the business of this business and learning how to write solutions-focused emails with confidence that are brief and can actually be a solution for that casting director, not a problem. Okay, so that's point number 1, and that's something that we talk about on every single session with casting directors for our members on actonthis.tv. We've got Seth Mason on with us tomorrow night. If you get a membership, you can join us for that session. Point number 2, casting directors don't care where you trained, only that you have talent. So it's not about what you did 20 years ago, what drama school you went to. It's about what you're doing now and what you're doing in the moment, in a tape or in the audition room. It's highly unlikely that the director's even going to ask the casting director where you trained. They're just going to, you know, like, have confidence in the casting director that they've brought you in, and they're just going to be watching, you know, and hopefully being blown away by what you're doing in the room or on that tape, basically. Point number 3, casting directors are on your side and want to give you the job. They are allies in the room. They want, you know, you to get that job, to be that solution. They want to go home at the end of the day knowing that they've delivered for their director, their producer. They put a great cast together. You know, and that, you know, you've got that job. They're really happy. You know, that's one of the things that they say is some of the nicest part of their job, is making the calls to agents to go, oh hi, just let you know, blown away by Petch's performance. They'd like to book him for the job. They love that, particularly when it's someone's first job as well. They're ringing your agent to book you in for your first TV job. So they're on your side basically. You know, go into the room with the mindset of not proving yourself because you've done that to get in the room. It's really just showing yourself at that point. What was that? Was that point number 3, wasn't it?
3.
Yeah, so done. Yeah, no, don't care where you train. Point number 3 was that they're on your side. Point number 4, is prep. Prep. Preparation fuels confidence, and confidence often outshines talent. Okay, it's going into that room really self-assured, confident in yourself, knowing that you've done the work. That's the only way that I can be confident. We all have those dreams, and I don't know what it means and whether other people who aren't actors have them as well, but we all have those dreams where we're just about to walk on stage. It's always theatre for some reason. It's never TV for me, and I don't do theatre. But you're always in the wings, about to go on a stage, and you've not learnt your lines.
It's because it's live.
Yeah, and you're just like, but I have that. I do have that dream. It's not recurring like all the time, but it's always very similar. I'm thinking
but on TV, like you can just go again. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, but it's in my dream. It's always theatre, and I'm like, right, and then my dream doesn't even it doesn't sort of like, I don't wake up before I go on stage. I often, like, my brain tortures me where I actually go on stage, and then in my dream I'm just making up all the words. I'm just making up the whole scene. Do you do that, Petch, or do you wake up before you go on stage?
No, I've done a full play in my sleep before without knowing any of the lines.
It actually happened to me once. I did Educating Rita. Great play. It's only a 2-hander though. And the lighting technician brought the second half up. So I was sat in place for the second half of the play at my desk. And the lights shouldn't have come up for 3 minutes whilst Rita was getting changed. And the lighting technician just brought the lights up 3 minutes early. And I had to, all the audience are looking at me, and I had to just create this monologue where I phoned her husband, Denny, to ask where she was. And I had this argument with him on the phone, because obviously he doesn't like Denny, Frank's character. And then I think Vicky, who was playing Rita, must have heard this off stage and obviously hurried up and managed to get on about 90 seconds later. And then we weaved it in. I was like, where were you? I've been phoning Denny. He's a charming chap, isn't he? And I just had to make the whole thing up. So I've had to do that in real life. But in my dreams, I'm often just making up a load of nonsense. But that's that anxiety we feel when we've not prepared, But the other thing is if you've prepared as well, you probably are more capable of dealing with the unknown in case a curveball's thrown at you. That comes back to sort of the foundation you've made. If you really know the lines, you're probably more able to ad-lib around them if you know them, And that happens in theatre as well sometimes, where you'll recognise that the person opposite you has forgotten their lines. And you might, because you're so well prepped, you might know their lines as well. And you can kind of feed their lines to them in a way, sometimes to get them back on track, but only if you're really prepared as well. So
yeah,
preparation is key, folks. And then point number 5, post-audition, like casting directors, remember consistency and growth. They will reward that. If you are consistently doing a good job, you're growing, you're taking this career seriously, you're showing that through correspondence, you're showing that when you're in the room, when you get a self-tape, maybe you're putting stuff out on social media that people are seeing. They remember that, and you'll be brought in again and again and again until you book a job. If you keep doing well, you will continue to be brought in. So they're the 5 secrets. We've got point number 6 that I'll play out at the end, and that's actually from a director called Duncan Foster, and that's something to remember once you've got the job. So it's more from a director than a casting director, but I think it ties into this stuff, and it's definitely something that people can remember. And we've even kept it to time today, Petch. I've tried to be efficient today because we only had an hour, and normally we come on these lives and should we just see what happens? And we're here for 2 hours. But we've kind of done it in an hour. I'm not getting comments through from Instagram because I am now. I say for some reason my browser had frozen here. So let's just go over to Instagram and we'll say hello to a few people, and then we'll go to the YouTube comments as well. Oh God, I've missed absolutely loads. But thanks, Penelope, for being here. Gleb, thanks for being here. I think that if I've got your name correct there. Sandra, how you doing? Radio. Walia. I'm so bad with names, but thanks, Radio. You'll know who you are on Instagram. Christina, thanks for being here. Matt Jenkins, great to see you. Sarah, everybody on Instagram. Let us know what your secret would be if that you think maybe that casting directors wish actors knew. If you've been on some of our
please do
live calls,
drop them in the comments, because we do like to go back and read things as after we've watched things, and we'll always reply to you and things like that. I'm sure we've missed things, but do drop them in the comments as usual. Like, subscribe, and share this with anybody who you think it might help.
Yep, that would be useful. We never ask for that. We always forget. But yeah, do turn your notifications on. We go live a couple of times a week. Matt Jenkins says, love the improv moments on stage. Nothing quite like it. Yeah, I mean, that's really alive, that, Matt, isn't it? Where it's sort of like, I remember once where some scenery started falling down. This is when we were doing, I think this is when I was doing Annie the musical. And some scenery fell down. Now, the little girl who was playing Annie was hilarious. And this was supposed to be like, is it Daddy Warbucks? Supposed to be his house. It was really grand and like, you know, all this amazing furniture. But then a painting fell off the wall and Annie just turned around and went, "What is this dump?" It was like she just brought it into the play. It was great though. That's those moments where it's like you got to, you know, really, really think fast on your feet, and you can only do a good job of that if you're prepared. Basically, Carolina, thanks for joining on Instagram. But yeah, let us know which sort of these secrets you think is the most important, or if you've got your own where you think, actually, you know what, a cast director told me that once, and I think all actors should know that. That would be really useful. To recap on what's going on for Act On This.tv members this week, as I say, tomorrow night Seth Mason is going to be with us, who is an incredible casting director, doing a live Zoom call for our members. I'll just go over the site now. If you get your membership before 1 day and 2 hours, as we're recording this, so this is happening on Thursday, the 14th of November, you can come and join us live on this Zoom call with Seth. We're going to dive into his casting process, the other casting directors he works with, who are amazing, Victor Jenkins and Andy Brealey at the casting office, Seth's casting process for Unforgotten, incredible BBC drama. Is it ITV Unforgotten? I think ITV's Unforgotten, isn't it? Is it BBC? I can never bloody remember.
That's what it says on your picture.
Oh,
there.
yeah. Why don't I just read it? Yeah, cool. Yeah, sorry, folks. It actually just says it on the bottom.
You know when we're talking about
there.
being prepared?
Yep, absolutely. Be prepared. Yeah, it's BBC Unforgotten, but yeah, great. I think it's on season 6 at the moment. So season 7 hasn't been commissioned yet, but it's gonna be. Trust me, I'm sure it will be. So yeah, we're gonna be diving into that. Casting hijacked for Idris Elba's Apple Plus show. If you want to get on Seth's casting radar, how to contact him, his email address, we're going to cover it all tomorrow night, basically. That's at 7:30 for our members. And like I say, we've got Spotlight on next week. Actually, you can, if you're a member of Spotlight, you can get on this one for free, this Spotlight session. If you go to actonthis.tv/Spotlight25, Spotlight 2025. Let me just make sure that is correct. Act on this. Because I'm opening this one up for anyone who's actually on Spotlight, because I think it's really, really important. If you're an Act On This member, you'll get a little bonus, though, because we're going to do a Spotlight surgery. So if you're a member, you'll be able to put your profile forward for us to actually dissect on the night. If you're not, you can't do that, but you can still tune into the session. Yeah, it is. If you go to actonthis.tv, let me just bring up that page. actonthis.tv/Spotlight 2025, because we're ready for 2025. You'll see this page here. You can pop your name and email address in here, and you'll get a Zoom link through for this session. So you can come and watch this session. If you're an actonthis.tv member, I will be asking towards the end of this week for people to submit their Spotlight profile links, and we'll choose a few to actually, you know, dissect on the night, and we'll do a bit of a Spotlight profile surgery on them. But if you're not a member, you can still join the session. You can just watch it for free by going to that page there, spotlight.com actonthis.tv/Spotlight 2025. Be prepared, Petch. Why am I not more prepared? actonthis.tv/Spotlight 2025. So 2025 numbers. Go get your free place on that. Anything else housekeeping wise coming up, Petch, that we should remind people about?
No, I think that's kind of it at the moment.
Yeah, we just got some banging calls coming up, basically. Like, now is that golden window of opportunity to get all your ducks in a row for 2025, folks. Honest to God. Like, if you want to work and capitalize on the opportunity that's coming in 2025, don't wait till January to do it. You know, don't quit on your career now and go, I'm just going to go to all the Christmas parties and I'm just going to unwind and I'll worry about my show reel next year and my headshots next year and I'll worry about getting an agent next year. Like, get some stuff together now. Even if it's just booking in headshot shoots for January, if it's booking in, a show reel scene or something, maybe for the first quarter of next year. Maybe it's going, actually, you know what? Rather than allow my siblings, my brother does this sometimes, we'll just waste money on each other at Christmas buying novelty things. Maybe go, let's not do that this year. Well, how about, you know, I get this backdrop for my self-tapes, or maybe, you know, the money you were going to spend on that novelty item for me, why don't we just put that towards some lights that I want to get for my self-tapes? Let's get serious. about 2025, because there will be an abundance of opportunity compared to what there has been in 2024. And part of that, yeah, Act On This TV, come get a membership. There's 140 sessions in the members area with the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, directors, and producers in TV that we've done this year. If you get a membership, you'll get instant access to those. Plus, you can join us on all these live calls that are coming up between now and Christmas. Because we've got stuff until literally the last week of December, haven't we? Like the 20... We'll be doing stuff like right up until like the 20-something, of December. So there's content every single week until then, folks. So do come and get involved. So bonus number 6, Pet, should we do this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do this one. We'll finish on this one. We've got a little bit over, but not too much over. So this is a clip. I just wanted to play you out, and it comes back to preparation again, because I think that for me, out of these 5 points, is probably the most important, and that goes across the board for everything in your life, really. The more prepared you can be, the more confident you're going to be in any situation. And this was a session we did with kind of the godfather of serial drama directing, Duncan Foster. He has directed hundreds of episodes of Coronation Street, Emmerdale, EastEnders, Casualty, all the serial dramas, like probably the number one or number 2 top directors in serial drama with the most number of episodes under his belt. And this is just a very quick clip of what he wanted to hammer home in this session when it comes to working on set. If you do get your first job, you've never been on set before, or it's your 100th job, it doesn't matter. There were 2 things that he wanted to hammer home here. So I'm just going to play this, and it comes back again to preparation, basically. But we'll just play this before we go, because I think it is important. Let me just find it. Take us off the screen again, Petch. And it's only a minute long, but it's just something nice to remember. Here we go. Let's play this.
The 2 things I want to hammer home is, one is prep. You must always come on set. You must always know your lines. You must always mark your own character journey. I've seen it where it hasn't happened, and it becomes a horrible place when I can see somebody's not prepped. And the speed that continuing drama works is insane, and it will swallow you up. The other one is enthusiasm. I've been doing this for, as you say, over 600 episodes, and I'd like to think that I'm just as enthusiastic today as what I was back in 2001 when I directed that scene with Jeff Hoadley and Freya on Emmerdale. One of the best things about continuing drama is if you do get in it and you do get that regular part, is that you're acting nearly every single day. Your craft just gets better and better and better and better and better. The thing then becomes, when you get to that stage, it's retaining that level of enthusiasm, whether it's day 1 or day 175. So it's enthusiasm, and it's care, and it's looking after it, and realising how lucky we are to do what we love doing, because we're a long time out of work if that's not happening.
Boom. I think it's a nice clip to end on, regardless of how your year's been this year. Sort of preparation and enthusiasm. Never lose that. That's Duncan, who's done 600 episodes of serial drama, and he's saying there he's just as enthusiastic now about the next episode he's doing as he was about the first one. And you mentioned Jeff Hoadley there. He plays Kane Dingle. That was the first scene that he did on Emmerdale. So yeah, don't lose that enthusiasm, folks. Honestly, hopefully some of this has helped you get that back. If you have lost it, come and get involved in our community, actonthis.tv. If you want to stay motivated, you want to have direction, you basically want to be on calls with the biggest names in the game every single week. And just let us know if we can do anything for you. Please leave a comment if you're watching on the replay. Any questions, we always go back and, we'll answer those even if, you weren't here live. Leave those. We're more than happy to help. And that's about it, Petch, isn't it? That's us for today.
It is.
That is that. Amazing. Right. Well, thanks to everybody who has been tuning in today. If you can come and join us tomorrow with Seth, that'll be a cracking session. If you're watching this past tomorrow, if you're watching on the replay of Seth will be in the members area. If you want to check that out as well, everything gets recorded. And that's that, isn't it? There you go. We've been quite efficient, Petch. 5:10. I said we'd do an hour. We've done it. I love it. And when will we be back doing one of these? It won't be this week now, will it? Because we've got the live call with Seth tomorrow.
Next week.
It'll be next. We've got Tuesday's spotlight, so it'll be probably like Thursday. So it'll be probably next Thursday. Maybe we'll go live again then. Maybe Thursday and Friday. We'll see. We'll see what we're doing. But thank you, everybody. I'm going to play the trailer for Seth Mason. That's what I'll end on. So this is if you're going to be on the session with Seth tomorrow. Here's a little bit of what we're going to talk about, and hopefully we will see you there. Until then, Petch, you know what time it is. In 3, 2, 1.
Bye
for now. Nice. Say that at the end of every session. Right, let's play your Seth. Have a good one, folks. We'll catch up with you in a little while. Actors, we're in the final stretch of 2024, and I want to help you finish this year strong, ready for your best year ever in 2025. If that sounds good to you, get yourself along to this week's Act On This.tv live mastermind session. It's taking place on Thursday, the 14th of November at 7:30 p.m. on Zoom with this absolute legend here. His casting credits include huge hits like ITV dramas Unforgotten and Maygrey, BBC drama The Split, and he's currently casting associate on Apple Plus drama Hijack, starring Idris Elba. It's casting director Seth Mason back on Act On This. Seth, it's awesome to have you back, mate. What are we going to be covering on Thursday night then?
We're going to be talking a little bit about what's been going on in the industry, what's been going on with us at the casting office, who's around, what's been going on. We are going to be all together and having a nice time, which is great because it's all a bit weird out there at the moment. And yeah, just little tidbits. Very keen to hear any questions or anything that all of you want to talk about. And yeah, we'll take it from there.
Nice. It's been 4 years since Seth has been on Act On This. We've got an awful lot to catch up on. Yeah, we're going to dive into the team at the casting office, the projects they've been working on, how you can get on their casting radar for 2025. There's still a few weeks of 2024 left. All is not lost for this year yet. Plenty of time to get yourself ready. Yeah, like I say, for your best year ever next year. And then we're going to do Q&A. Anything we can help you with to move your acting career forward faster. We're here for it. If you want to get involved, get yourself over right now to actonthis.tv/live to get your seats. You'll also find there the schedule of calls between now and the end of the year. Got some of the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, directors, and producers on. We sit down every single week with the best names in the game, including you, Seth, obviously. And a little bit of pressure. I ask every guest this, but why don't actors want to miss this session in particular?
Well, I mean, look around, look outside. It's going to be your first Christmas present.
Yes, exactly. It's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside.
It's cold outside.
Stay in. This is going to be the gift that keeps on giving. Be there. actonthis.tv/live.